Good afternoon. We're back on Holga today. I'm actually recording this now for the second time because I kind of lost my train of thought. So, one thing I was skeptical of on tearing this bike down is I noticed there was some wear on the small end of the rod right here. You can see that one spot next to the oil port that's kind of polished. It's mirrored on the opposite side, and I really think I had an oil feeding issue to the small end of the rod. And I did have some matching very fine witness marks on the wrist pin for the piston. So I am going to go ahead and replace the wrist pin on the piston. I'm going to keep the crank for now. It measures fine, and my stacked tolerance against the wrist pin and crank is good. But I do think that this was caused by a possibly clogged oil jet because this bike did have a recluse when I got it. It was slipping. It did produce a lot of clutch matter. So once I get my new gasket set, got that on the way, I'll go ahead and pull that, replace the O-ring beneath it, and make sure the jet passes through clear. But that could have been a contributing factor to maybe more wear than one would like to see on the small end of the rod on a very old bike full of irreplaceable guts. Additionally, today I'm going to take a deeper dive into the wiring, get all this stuff corrected, and kind of build my new harness. I do have my street legal harness laying over here somewhere that was kind of a standalone that can be removed. Gotta redo that because now I cannot have everything suspended behind the headlight with this new BRP stabilizer. I got to keep everything tight to the fork legs and tight to the frame. That way everything's going to clear. I do have all my controls on here. And I did ditch the bar pad, even though I really like the look of it. Had to make room for the Trail Tech. This is the original Trail Tech off this bike. That did reflect this bike had 185 hours on it before I got it, and 5,000 some odd miles. So definitely time for a top end refresh. It is getting new intake valves as well. I did measure those to the best of my ability, and they were cupping a little bit. Exhaust was fine. Seats are good. The head is already cleaned up and ready to go back together once I get valve guide seals. But yeah, I'm going to dive off in this wiring today, get all this straightened out with new connectors so I don't have issues later on, and then try and get it as back together and as much of a roller as it can be, because coming this next weekend, me and Holga will be moving to the new shop. So have a little bit more room than just this little storeroom space I got back here. But wish me luck today. Keep up with the questions if you guys have any questions about how like my ignition system or turn signals, anything like that are wired. You can see in some of my old videos they are constant on turn signals for visibility so I do not get ran over. Constant on and then switching, so it does require